We'll have that talk later as we go live.
We are live.
Yep, we are. So, what's going on this evening, folks? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Running Gun Podcast. I'm JPeeps,
I'm Ace.
and tonight for you, we've got another great one for you. We're going to talk about this coaching carousel. We're going to talk about the USF job, of course, and everything, and how that pertains to Willie Simmons. What Willie Simmons said on Monday night, actually not on Monday night, Tuesday night, last night, before the last Give podcast went live. What was said during his coach's show. Uh, we're also going to talk about the state of the AFC East, which is very much up for grabs.
Especially with an elbow. The elbow in question
Yes, the almighty elbow in question that.
belongs to the right arm of Josh Allen.
Yes, exactly. Plus, we're going to talk about, of course, the playoff rankings. We're going to talk about, the potential of two Florida teams meeting up in a bowl game again this year. That's going to be really interesting.
We got statement games coming out from last week. Some
Fantasy
teams
football.
shocked us. Some teams didn't shock us. They came out and did their business. Fantasy football. Rest in peace, Flash, in the 2022 season of
He
fantasy
still hasn't
football.
won a game yet?
Nope, 0-9. That being said, he did also draft Najee Harris and DJ Moore with 2 out of his top 6 picks.
Let's see. Wait, so the Bucks went 0-14 their first season. He might match that.
Well, it's not his first year, remember. It is his third.
It's okay. No, we need to get him a T-shirt if he goes winless. Just get him.
We need to have a punishment for like the worst team in the league.
No, not a punishment. We just need to get him a T-shirt that says 76 Buccaneers. That's what we got.
Hey, it will fit for him. We'll talk all about that in hot topics, though. Fantasy football start and sit some basketball stuff. World Series champs been crowned. Congrats to the Astros. But with that being said, like, share, subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend. If you watched tonight, head over to the channel and check out the one from last night with us, joined by Stink Bastard. That episode had a great pieces in it, but it was long as hell. So I got to go back and put the chapters into it so you guys can understand what the hell is going on. But we hit up on everything. So if you want a good conversation with some guys just talking sports, go check that one out tonight. We're going to talk our usual stuff, though. Keep it straightforward. Let's run the intro and get it going, JPeeps.
Yes, sir. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is JP.
This is the Bug.
This is JC.
This is Flash.
This is Denny Hendricks.
And you're listening to
And you're listening to
And you're listening to the Run and Gun Podcast.
So awesome. Here we go. And we're going to do it like this. First things first, the order of business in the room, because this is the elephant in the room. Willie Simmons has been brought up.
Name coming up in coaching rumors.
Say again?
I was going to say Willie Simmons' name coming up in coaching rumors.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's because if you look at his line of work, his resume is very impressive. He was good at Prairie View, and then also too, Jay Walker hit on something very interesting during the FAMU Southern game last week, where he said, he watched Willie Simmons as Willie Simmons progress from Alcorn to Prairie View to now being at FAMU. He said, Willie Simmons kind of honestly matured in his play calling ability, because he said in the past it had been like, pass, pass, pass. And then before it would be like he would still be pass happy, but he wouldn't sprinkle in the run as much. And then I think last year you saw where he had to rely on the run as well as his passing ability. And so, I mean, he's grown and matured, honestly, but I do not I'll say it is because USF Twitter and stuff is making a big deal about because of that.
USF Twitter is also pumping up John Gruden, which we'll have a conversation about that when we get to college football.
Yeah, honestly. See, and this is the problem why I can't take USF Twitter seriously. USF Twitter has said multiple.
Has a bunch of dummies running it.
Thank you.
Well, I can say that because nobody at USF when I go to school knows who the hell I am, which is a great thing. So I can say whatever the hell I want about them, and they don't know so far. I'm gonna jinx it one day, but knock on wood, it ain't happening.
Even if they did know who you were, dude, honestly, to me personally, I'm like,
I'd be public enemy number one.
I just don't care. My thing is
you graduated, you don't care.
Hey, everyone, give you what? Oh yeah, happy birthday, Ashton!
Happy birthday, Ashton!
His birthday. I believe he's 28 today. I think he said it on Twitter. He's 28. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Yeah, I mean, we wish you many, many more. We wish you many more, my guy.
It's a great thing spending your birthday with us.
Exactly. You spend your birthday with us. It's a hurricane party up in here, man.
We're celebrating the arrival of Nicole. Nicole coming over to the crib.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's just good vibes.
I feel sorry for any child whose parents' name were Ian and Nicole that was born this year in Florida. I'm sure there's some kid out there whose parents' names are Ian and Nicole, and he was born this year.
It happens. But yeah, as far as USF goes, like my thing is, I have a tough time believing them and what they say.
Hey, we'll talk about it in the NCAA section. Let's focus on Willie.
Okay, all right. Look, I'm gonna say this: as far as Willie goes, I can't fault the man. I'm never gonna fault the man for going to get his money and taking care of his family. But at the same time, too, we need to realize that not all money is good money. USF has been very short-tempered with coaches, predominantly African-American coaches. Willie Taggart, I remember like it was yesterday. Folks wanted to run him out of town after he lost to McNeese State, and then he's turned it around. His final year, he was, I believe, 10-2?
Twin Flowers.
Exactly. And then Charlie Strong.
No, 2016 and 17 were the two main years.
2017, Charlie Strong's first year, where he won with Willie Taggart's talent, but
no,
yeah.
So 15 and 16 would be the years Taggart was good.
Yeah, those were
the Marlon Mack and then the Quinn Flower teams.
Yes. So I mean, my thing is they are very stingy with their African American coaches over there at USF. I would look long. I would wait and weigh all my options here if I'm Willie Simmons. But again, I can't fault him if he leaves to go get the bag. I can't. Now, with that being said, Willie Simmons said something interesting Tuesday night in his coach's show, where he stated he has not heard anything from USF at all. He even has his agent. His agent hasn't heard anything from USF. He met with the team and said, I haven't heard anything from USF. My main focus is Alabama State and trying to get us into the FCS playoffs. So I commend the man for that too. But the other thing is, we have to remember how much of this is coaches talk too. That's the other thing. Because after the way the Jimbo Fisher thing unfolded at Florida State, where Jimbo constantly said, I hope to be at Florida State for a long time, anything's possible. So,
well, anything is possible because I thought the Magic weren't going to win tonight. I had no shot without Powell, and they somehow beat the Mavs. So, like I said, anything is possible.
Exactly. So, what we need to do is just take this thing week by week, and we'll see what happens. If it is true that USF boosters are already cutting checks for John Gruden, if I'm Willie Simmons, I would already look the other way. I'm like, look, you guys are already basically cutting him checks.
But are they really? I don't know the situation into detail of the whole John Gruden because something's got to be massively wrong with USF to even consider him. And I'm trying not to get to that point yet with that whole discussion. I'm trying to stay focused with the HBCU section right now. It's very hard.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But I mean, look.
Let's talk about the other Southern team showed up. FAMU still not looking like the worst 9-2 team yet.
Still not, honestly. I will say they have grown after coming out of that second bye week. The homecoming game I predicted 38-9. They should have got the 38, but two penalties that weren't their fault happened. And then I was 1 point off with predicting the score last week in the Southern game. I said 31-17. It ended up being 30-16. So I'm getting closer and closer as the weeks go by. So hopefully this week is the lucky week. But I will say I was impressed. That was a physically dominating performance. I will say. You still got a chance to crack the FCS top 25. You're close this week. If you can crack it by winning this weekend, all you got to do is just dominate and display and flex your muscles in the Classic. And hopefully you do get a home playoff game. Hopefully. If you do, I'll be there. I will literally skip the War on I-4 just to go back to Tallahassee for a playoff game.
Well,
and I may have to take.
We don't know how it would work. If they do get into the SCS playoffs, they'd probably be a lower seed again.
Yeah,
but their two losses have been against
quality opponents.
What, North Carolina and
Jackson State,
which are both North Carolina is ranked in the top 25 of the FBS rankings.
Mm-hmm. And
Drake May is looking like a potential Heisman candidate. His name's coming up, so that's strength of schedule loss. Jackson State, top team in the SWAC, one of the top teams in the FCS right now.
Mm-hmm.
Quality loss.
Exactly. So my thing is, and here's the other part of it too. Like I was saying Saturday, if FAMU's able to put forth the money to host an FCS playoff game and outbid the competition, there's going to be a game in Tallahassee. So we'll see. We're going to see. We definitely will see. Also, too, Jackson State, they got a chance to wrap up the SWAC East after destroying Texas Southern. If they can basically give Coach Maynard another scooter this weekend, they will be SWAC East champs and hosting the SWAC championship again. Prairie View. They can clinch with 2 straight wins this weekend and next weekend. So, yeah, and then also, too, North Carolina Central. They are in a position to also clinch the MEAC. They've been very impressive.
Wow, South Carolina State's struggling?
Oh, yeah, dude. No, I kind of figured this wasn't South Carolina State's year. I kind of figured.
They ain't going to get to have no fun against Jackson State this year.
No. Honestly, dude. I don't know if you saw a few nights ago or a month ago, NC Central's game against Morgan State that was on a Thursday night. Dude, they look good. All I'm going to say is Jackson State better not go into the Celebration Bowl again thinking that they just got it made. Because NC Central, dude, they can play. They can play. I'm telling you now. Those guys can play.
We got Prairie View clinch SWAC West. Wow. Didn't see that coming.
They got it wouldn't have surprised me. The media picked Southern. I honestly felt like Southern could have done it this year, but
that's just show how bad the SWAC West is.
It is. It's very bad. And then you got to think about too, if you look at Southern from top to bottom, that team is not disciplined. They jumped off sides 4 straight times. They had FAMU backed up at a 3rd and 11, jumped off sides, got it to a 3rd and 3rd and 6, jumped off sides again.
Wasn't it Prairie View's head coach that went to Southern, right?
Yes. It was Southern who got in the fight when they played at Prairie View.
And now look who's gonna have the last laugh if they clinch the SWAC West.
Exactly. So how much of it was Coach Dooley and how much of it was just the players?
Or how much of it's just pure ironic?
Exactly.
Like when you think of it, that is so ironic that you have this massive fight. Southern won the battle, but Prairie View gonna win the war.
Exactly. And Prairie View may actually find the end zone against Jackson State in the SWAC championship. Which is ironic because Southern sure didn't find the end zone against Jackson State. Now, the other thing is, I forgot what the other thing was. Wait, hold on, we got a comment.
Who y'all think? But
Oh, Prairie View. I think
yeah,
he wins out. Prairie View secures it.
that's just like I said, the irony.
Yeah, it's I at this point I have no faith in that very undisciplined Southern team. Like for one, okay, you started a fight with Southern
Prairie View.
Prairie View.
Prairie View.
You went out and you made a video where you were basically saying what you were going to do to Shador in all of Jackson State, and you were talking trash, and then you went out there and got shut out, and now you had a very undisciplined display of key moments that lost you the game against FAMU. I don't think Southern's that team.
That is a mix of like when you think of it, it's like a coach trying to be a player's coach, but not having enough, not drawing the line at a certain point.
Exactly. He lets them do what they want to do, but I feel like part of it is it's his first year. He's trying to establish his own culture, and I think this is where people need to kind of give Dooley a little bit of a break. He's taken over. This is his first year on the job. Everybody's saying that Dooley blew it. Dooley's not doing what he needs to do. It's his first year. Let him get his guys in, and then let's see what he does. And yes, we should. We very much. But yeah, give him time. Let him establish himself first before we start like crucifying him and saying this was a bad hire. Because people said the same thing about Mike Norvell when he got to Florida State. Like, dude, come on, let's relax.
But with that, I'm gonna pivot on over.
Oh yeah, there you
I
go.
think we hit up everything.
We did. Now for this, elaborate. Well, actually, no. We need to talk about the AFC East.
Someone said this earlier, and I had to agree with them. It was if the Miami Dolphins win the AFC East, Tua Tagovailoa should be top 3, top 2 in the MVP voting with Jalen Hurts. The MVP race should be Jalen Hurts versus Tua.
Really?
If you look at Tua, his numbers in the games he's played, he's number 1 in almost every category in the games he's played.
That's respectable. And you know what the beautiful thing about it is they finally put weapons around him for him to really be successful.
And that offense is nice.
It is. And that's what the Dolphins should look like, quite honestly. That is.
I was skeptical about the Mike McDaniel hire, but he's actually proven he's actually a pretty good offensive mind and play caller. Or it's just teams haven't figured him out yet, which is always a possibility. But I think he's got it. His first 3 wins were against, I want to say, it was Belichick, Harbaugh, and McDermott.
Belichick, Harbaugh, McDermott. Quality wins.
Mm-hmm.
Quality wins. And then, honestly, he still has to go to Buffalo. The more he wins and stacks wins, the more and more confident I feel that the Dolphins can go to up to Buffalo, Orchard Park, and get a win. I like their chances against the Jets. I like their chances against the Patriots.
I think they got the Patriots and the Jets in the bag. Albeit the Jets could come out. But see, the problem with the Jets is they got Sauce to take out one receiver, but they got that other guy, Mr. Jalen Waddle, who's right there to kill somebody.
Exactly.
And that's the issue with the Bills, where if you look at them, if they bring in Odell, that team will be deadly because, well, we'll take Odell a couple of weeks to get his legs back, but the whole problem with the Bills is Sauce matched up with Diggs majority of that game. Well, not the entirety of the game. He had a little bit of Gabe Davis, but they put Sauce on Davis and they doubled Diggs toward the end of the game. That's why Josh Allen started to struggle. And you're like, well, now if you got a real guy out there who can beat the man coverage against Gardner or break the double coverage or help double coverage off of Diggs, like Odell would, that would help the Bills out way more than what the Bills are going to have trouble. What the Jets, will have trouble with the Dolphins, where they can't do that with the Dolphins because Tyreek and Jalen can beat one-on-ones very easily, and they can beat double coverage. So it's like you have to pick a poison between the two, and that's why teams are giving up 100 yards a game to both of them.
Facts. And then plus those guys, they make the hard catches late in games. So dude, good luck. Good luck. That's just that's my one word of advice. Because I don't see any corners for the Patriots that can really stop these guys. Although they beat the Patriots.
Jack Jones and Jonathan Jones have been playing good, but you saw them against the Bears. They did not look good.
Did not look good.
But they did look good against who did they play just now? Indianapolis, albeit it's Indianapolis. Indianapolis looks like a garbage show right now.
My thing is, I thought they would have promoted Reggie Wayne. Not Reggie Wayne, but is it Reggie Wayne? I think it was.
I thought they would have gave Reggie Wayne a shot because Reggie Wayne is the wide receiver coach. So that was. Hey, is he feeling better from your rant? Your rant was emotional.
Do you need a
Ashton, I'm gonna tell you this. I feel a little better now because the Magic won, but I was miserable. I couldn't even get a win in anything last 2 days. We couldn't even get Justin Fields off of the waiver wire, bro. That's how bad we were.
I mean, to be honest with you, let me stop.
And we had the third pick in one of the leagues. The second main, not the main penalty talk league, which, albeit we took an L this week, but we're still number one in the league in points by a solid 50-point margin. And we're the 4th seed.
Wait a minute, I'm confused. Are you talking about fantasy or are you talking about the Saints? I'm so confused.
Fantasy. We're talking about the W's that we couldn't take this week.
Oh,
I'm not even worried about the Saints. I said this. I tell myself today. I saw the TV map, and I'm like, best thing news I heard this week was I don't have to have Andy Dalton on my TV this weekend.
Oh, wait.
That game's not on Florida market.
You don't have Red Zone?
No, I don't want to watch Andy Dalton.
I mean, you don't have to watch Andy Dalton. You can just whip around.
Already spending $30 on Bowie.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, I had to watch both the Lightning and Magic. I can't spend everything.
Oh my
but
goodness.
Back to this. I mean, the Jets. Me and Stank was talking about this yesterday with Flash. We was like, when you got no expectation, no one believe in you, just go out, play. They're moving Elijah Moore to slot, so hopefully open up some opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how that goes. But I mean, it's. I was telling him yesterday. I said the AFC North will be won by the Ravens. The South will be Tennessee. The West will be Kansas City.
Yes.
And the East will be either Buffalo or Miami.
Yes.
And you're gonna have 3 teams come out of the East.
I believe that.
2 of the wild cards will be from the East, and 1 will be between the Bengals and the Browns, and the Chargers.
You think?
But I'm pretty sure it will be the Bengals. I think the Bengals will come out because I don't expect Watson to come after 2 years of missing football and just start winning games.
I still think the Bengals honestly will creep in, but you can't sleep on Justin Herbert either.
But the thing is, the Browns have the tiebreaker right now over the Bengals, but the Bengals have the tiebreaker over the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And did the Bengals and Chargers play this year? I know they played last year. I have no idea if they played this year.
I don't think they play this year, but I do know that the Bengals will be they do still have to host the Browns at some point.
Yep. They have the Browns week 14.
Yeah, see.
So Deshaun will play that game.
Yeah. Not Buffalo. The Bengals defense better be ready. Because Deshaun's going to come out there. He's going to try to get fancy with it.
Well, let's not get on. I'm not say what I was thinking.
Now, this is what I want to talk about after seeing all them guys not pan out for them.
How do you draft Clelin Ferrell, Jonathan Abram, Josh Jacobs, Henry Ruggs, Damon Arnett, Alex Leatherwood, and cut every single one of them besides Jacobs, who's going to be gone in free agency this year?
I actually found some stuff out about Jonathan Abrams that
he's not good.
Well, some internal stuff. And
Green Bay doesn't care. Green Bay just picked him up.
I know, and I'm questioning why a franchise like Green Bay would do that after what I just found out. I'll say this: if you watched Hard Knocks when the Raiders did Hard Knocks with John Gruden, and then that was Jonathan Abrams' rookie year. That was the year Antonio Brown had the thing with the foot with the frostbite. Like, you could look at Jonathan Abram and tell like something wasn't right with him. He talked back. He thought he was above the team to me and stuff. I'm already hearing that he had a terrible work ethic. He wasn't a good locker room guy. He's very lazy. Like, you can't last long in the league doing that. I'm sorry. So, like, that to me was no surprise. I was thinking, I was like, maybe he's one of those cocky guys where like he backs up his play. But dude, no.
What do you think about it? Every single person, not every one of them. I don't know about Leatherwood's character, and I don't know Farrell's character. But most of those guys Mayock drafted had character issues.
They did.
Mayock and Gruden's, not just Mayock. Gruden had a big say in who they picked.
They did. And honestly, if you talk to a lot of Raider fans, they wanted Devin White at that pick. They are still questioning how in the world did John Gruden and Mike Mayock pass up Devin White for Cleveland Farrell? Because they said they knew.
I thought Dexter Lawrence was going to go in front of him, and Lawrence is killing it up in New York right now with the Giants.
We'll let the jury's out. let it be known. That's someone.
No, jury's back. Foreman back. Foreman done read the verdict. Cleveland Farrell guilty. Dexter Lawrence should have been the guy.
They missed hard, dude. They missed hard, and they set that franchise back because now they got to go back in there and they got to get these. They got Josh McDaniels has to get it right, and that's where
McDaniels should have been fired. I know the fake Twitter accounts came out, but he really doesn't need to go.
Now I give him a mulligan because of all those bad picks that Mike Mayock and John Gruden had. So he's got to he needs to knock this next draft out of the park. So I'm going to throw him a bone and be patient with him because this year he had to deal with what he had to deal with.
Who did the Raiders take this year? They didn't have a first round pick this year. Oh no, they traded it for Devontae. That's right.
Yeah. So
I'm
expecting them this year to make better decisions on quality guys. So that way to ensure this doesn't happen again.
But you know how bad he is? Every time Dennis Allen plays a coach, he looks like the worst coach on the field. Except for the Raiders game.
Here we go.
And you saw McDaniels even against the Jags. He blew a 17-point lead against the Jags.
I thought this was going somewhere like a Dennis Allen rant, but I guess I was about to get my heart.
No, I'm over him. He's gone. He should be gone after this year. So is Andy Dalton.
I'm telling you, I don't think Andy Dalton.
Can't dwell on it.
I think Andy Dalton's gone, but I do think.
I think TJ Watt comes in this week. He's gonna have 3 beautiful sacks in the first half. Strip sack. Minka's gonna have a pick 6. He'll be glorious. TJ Watt will be gone at halftime.
TJ Watt's back healthy.
TJ Watt coming back this week. I'm calling it right now. TJ Watt gonna have 3 sacks, strip sack, and Minka's gonna have a pick 6 before halftime, and it'll be glorious.
That's ironic. Damn, that sucks.
God. It'll just emphasize the point. DA gotta go. Dalton gotta go. Carmichael gotta go.
I need to know your opinion of Mr. I went to Soul Train and stuff. Cameron Jordan. What do they need to do with him?
Him
and his child mustache. Him and his child.
Mr. Satan mustache? Yeah, I know. He needs to go find a Majin Buu friend. Look up Hercule Satan from DBZ Cell Saga.
I don't even want to look this up right now. I'll do it.
You want me? I don't know if this computer has that photo that I'm thinking of him. I will have to look for it, but if you knew what I'm talking about, like, oh boy, them is like twins with that whole thing.
But I will say one other thing too, as far as the NFC North goes, Packers, bad. They continue to find ways to lose games. I've never seen Aaron Rodgers make some. I will say, there were throws that I saw Aaron Rodgers make on Sunday where I was like, oh snap, he's finna do it, and then it was picked off.
Nah, oh snap, that Jameis Winston playing right now. That's what them picks in the red zone look like.
It did. Because honestly, I was surprised. I was like, geez, dude, like, this isn't you. This is not you at all. Because he, like, but I commend the Lions secondary. They had a plan. It was like every ball that seemed lofted into the air into the end zone, the Lions were there to make a play on it. And I think that something told me though too. Like after seeing Hard Knocks, I was like, the Lions are going to claw their way to a win of some kind against Green Bay.
I had a feeling, I got cute with the picks and I picked the Falcons and the Packers, but I'm like, there's something in the back of my mind saying, the Falcons are probably gonna Falcon this, and the Lions are just gonna just say, you know what, we done traded our second best receiving option, gonna call it quits for the year, but we ain't taking this divisional game light.
I mean, to be honest, me personally, I felt like the Chargers were going to win regardless because Atlanta's not good, in my opinion.
Atlanta has like games where they just come out and they shock people, which is like, remember they steamrolled San Francisco. Like, there's games like they show up, and then there's games where they get sled road because they were dueling LA. They were up, I think, like 10-0 on LA at halftime or something like that. It wasn't getting pretty for LA, and then some Atlanta just Atlanted it.
Yes, they did. And then my thing is that the mark of a bad team was just it
was 10-0 under the first quarter, my bad. And then the Chargers came back in the second and took it a lead, 14-10. And then the Falcons had that fumble recovery, and then they fumbled it back, gave it back to the Chargers, and the rest was history. And you're like, yeah, it's about right for the Falcons.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But in Green Bay though, like that surprised me. I did not expect that to happen. I didn't expect that to happen at all. So to be honest with you, I don't know what to make of it going forward. They're gonna lose this weekend in Dallas. They're gonna when Dallas comes in.
Dallas is coming.
Yeah, Dallas is coming. They're gonna lose.
Hey, who does this man look like?
Oh no.
Who does this look like? Like I said, twinning. But I gotta give them credit. The Saints that I ragged on Cesar Ruiz and Peyton Turner earlier this year. Mm-hmm. Ruiz been playing solid at guard, and then you got Turner. He had 2 sacks against the Raiders, had a couple of pressures and a run stuff against the Raiders. He's been, when he's on the field, he's been a little bit better than what he has been. He's just got to stay healthy. Just wanted to throw that one out there.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Now Odell Beckham too. I know you said earlier the Bills, but Jerry Jones is like trying hard to get that man to Dallas.
They want to put him in the Cooper role, but I don't get the whole thing because you paid Gallup, right? Gallup tore his ACL and you paid him a 3-year deal, right? Over 17 million or 16, 17 million. I want to say it was like 3 or 50. 3 years, 50 something million. All right. And then you got drafted CeeDee Lamb. You literally forced teams to pick CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jones, I mean. But then you have a quarterback, Dak Prescott, and the 2 games he's been in since returning from injury. CeeDee Lamb is leading the team in targets, but he's not getting the double digits you'd expect from a guy you forced the team to draft. You made him. He's not like he's been covered or anything. He's been open. It's just the quarterbacks have been too busy dumping it off to the tight end, and he doesn't want to throw it deep. Albeit game script hasn't needed him to throw it a whole lot. So I don't know what they do with Odell because they've been trying to be a run-first team instead of passing. What Odell's going to do on that? Got a comment here. Drunk's back. CeeDee Lamb is Michael Pittman with swag.
That's an interesting take. I haven't heard that before. That's an interesting take.
I can't even argue with that. My thing is, I know CD, if you give him the ball, he can make stuff after the play. Whereas Pittman, he's more of a one catch. He ain't gonna create much after that.
Well, he plays for Indianapolis too.
That's true too. He can't get a quarterback.
So I mean, can't do anything about that.
CeeDee Lamb with Michael Pittman. So whack.
I would have never thought about something like that. That's a good take.
Don't come out with the best shit, bro.
That does. That does. I like that. That was.
I can't put that. That is that's a. I could see it. Like, when you're looking at something, you don't see it, but once someone tells you, you're like, oh, she's right.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's.
I mean, Michael Pittman ain't bad. Don't get me wrong, but they're not QB proof, and they need the targets to do their work.
Correct. All right, let's switch it on over to college football.
Odell's got to make a decision this week. I picked him up in one league. He needs to make a decision, get the practice. He should be in shape because, when you're in ACL recoveries, you can do straight line stuff most of the time.
Yeah, it is straight line stuff. You don't know.
It's just the learning the playbook stuff should be what his issue is.
Realistically, it's gaining the confidence back. You don't know how comfortable you are with it until you
trust in me.
Exactly. Until you got there, you get hit and you realize like, all right, I'm all right. Let's do this. Like that's when it comes back to you where you're like, all right, I'm back. I'm me. Let's go.
But that's what we haven't seen with Godwin yet, too.
That's true. That's true. We haven't seen a lot from the Bucks, honestly. So
I was so tempted to ask Stank yesterday. I was like, bro, why is CeeDee Lamb? Not CeeDee Lamb. Lord, I'm seeing this comment and thinking him. Why is Chris Godwin getting used like Julian Edelman rather than Chris Godwin being Chris Godwin? I'm getting used to work the middle of the field more than 5 yard shallow out routes.
I just think Brady
drag routes.
Offensive line, dude. That's what I think it is. But yeah, let's go.
Just max protect. Well, max protect probably doesn't even protect him anyway.
Let's go and switch.
Moving on.
College football. So the college football playoff rankings for the second week came out. You got Georgia sitting at number 1. You got Ohio State sitting at number 2. Michigan at 3. TCU at number 4. So quite honestly speaking, the Michigan-Ohio State game is going to determine the Big 12 representative, of course. The SEC championship, it's Georgia's, honestly. I think at this
point... Chris
Godwin
Godwin ain't look like Chris Godwin since Brady got it. Man.
It seems like Ace wants to say something, so I'm going to...
Bro, is he wrong, though?
Is he wrong? You said, is he wrong?
I'm asking you, do you think he's wrong? I don't. 2019, Chris Godwin was the best of Chris Godwin.
Everybody's so down on Hooker right now, like he played. Okay, so first things
all right, let's go back to this one first, and then we'll go to the Hooker one.
All right, so Chris
2019 Godwin was the best Godwin.
And that's because Jameis was slinging it everywhere. Also.
Yeah, but since Brady's it's been more not the deep stuff that he's been getting mostly.
So, career-wise, 2019, that was Chris Godwin's last extremely good season. So, 2019, Chris Godwin had 1,333 yards receiving. Last season, Chris Godwin actually he had more receptions in 20.
Yeah, but there were not the deep stuff. It was more he was working underneath for Brady. Mike Evans was doing the deep work, and AB was on the field, so was AB.
That's true too. Yeah, his longest was 44, much like this season. His longest reception has been 44 yards. He had 5 TDs last year, whereas he got
none this year.
He doesn't. And then in 2019, his longest was 71 yards with 9 TDs. And I think part of it is there's a difference between, Jameis.
Offensive philosophy?
Yeah,
But that wasn't Jameis who was pushing it. That was Arians having more control of the offense and Brady working it his way.
That's true, too. You had Arians, and then you had Jameis, who is what he is at this point. And then things are a little bit different with Brady, of course, and plus you factor in the mere fact of Antonio Brown being there. So yeah, and then this year it's like, Bruce Arians is not calling the shots. It's Byron Leftwich that has control of calling the shots, as well as Tom Brady has a say where Tom Brady gets what Tom Brady wants. So I mean, I agree with him. There's a significant drop off, of course, but a little bit of it is you got to factor in now, like who's calling the shots, who's playing QB. Jameis was a lot of those throws are being forced by Jameis in 2019. Also, too,
No, Godwin did run a couple of wrong routes. Like, I know most of the picks were on Jameis, but there was about 10 of them between Godwin and Perriman, I want to say, where they ran the wrong route.
yeah, Godwin,
And
Perry,
Godwin had at least 6 of them where he ran the wrong route on Jameis.
and Scotty Miller.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Let's talk about this. Ready to talk about Georgia, Tennessee?
yeah, go ahead and bring that comment back.
Yeah, I'll bring that one up. But first, Georgia was upset. You saw Georgia, their reaction to being put at number 3, undefeated.
Did you
got put at number 3. And
did you
they
see
came out.
not College Game Day? Did you see the Paul Feinbaum show on Friday with Kirby Smart was on the show Friday for Paul Feinbaum. Kirby Smart basically was saying, we know what they like to do, and we need to come out like we're ready, and we need to take full advantage of every chance we get when we have a chance to shut them down. And sure enough, every chance they had to make a statement in that game and shut down Tennessee, they took advantage of it. Now, that's not enough.
I don't know how his phone number got leaked. Stetson Bennett sent me, but he
dude,
came out with the chip.
That happens all the
defensive line. That defensive line came out with a chip on their shoulder. They was hungry dogs.
Because they've been hearing about Tennessee for weeks, and they were out to make a statement.
And they were also, I think, since that Missouri game, they've gotten their act together.
They have, and here's the thing: every team has at least one bad game where they're just they nearly taste defeat, but they don't. Ohio State had theirs this past week.
No, I wouldn't say that game was the taste of defeat. That would have been the Penn State game because the weather was really terrible for the Ohio State Northwestern game, and they couldn't throw it for anywhere.
Fair. But I will say I'm not Georgia the new Alabama. Tennessee's the new Georgia. Alabama's the new. He's right.
I can't even.
I'm not going to give up.
Which Auburn we talking about? Hey, drop. Put in the comment section which year Auburn you want to talk about.
Yeah, really.
Like the 11 Auburn or the more recent Auburn?
Yeah, because I mean, I'll say
like the Bo Nix Auburn, I should say.
We need to get Nick Saban. I need to see how he shakes back.
I think Nick Saban, he's gonna have to have a change in philosophy when it comes to recruiting to compete with the NIL era.
Yes.
That's it's gonna be like, that thing where it's like those who can't adapt will die or whatever saying that is. That's what's gonna Alabama's at a crossroad where they've got to either adapt or they're gonna fall from their pedestal.
You gotta think this era. You gotta think about it like this too. You have a situation where Georgia
any Auburn that's not Cam Newton Auburn. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'll say about 2013 Auburn. Nah, not 2013 Auburn. But
I would say Bo Nix. Second year Bo Nix.
To be fair, here's what I'll say. Georgia with the NIL, they're based right there not too far from Atlanta. So the opportunities are endless for them with the NIL. LSU, I think, dude,
their quarterback just got his first NIL this week. Jaden Daniels just got his first. Like they weren't building off of NILs. They're now getting it to.
I think a lot of people just wrote them off in that game, and they came out heavily motivated.
If LSU, like when they have those new coaches, it takes a game for them to get everything organized out. If they didn't have that clunker game against FSU, they'd be in the top 4 right now, probably.
I agree.
Well, it'd be a toss. They'd be either 6 or 5. It'd be a toss-up between them and Tennessee because they did lose to Tennessee. So it'd be a toss-up. But that game against Alabama, too, like the balls on Brian Kelly and Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels gonna work his way into the top 60 of the NFL draft.
If he messes that play up, he's viewed as an idiot. But it worked, so he's a genius.
Well, to be honest, the play calling wasn't him who made that work. That was Jaden who made those plays work.
Yeah. But I mean, here's what I'm saying. Like if he goes for that and it doesn't work, it's frowned upon. Everybody's
That's
upset.
true.
And then it's kind of ironic too. Everybody thought the sky was falling in Baton Rouge after they lost to Florida State. Well, knowing Florida State just played above their head that game because Florida State was heavily motivated going in to make a statement of some sort. I tried to tell people Brian Kelly's a great coach. Everybody told me I'm like, yeah, no, he is a good coach. He wasn't going to get the same athlete at Notre Dame. He wasn't.
Nah, he wouldn't get those kind of dogs that he getting at LSU. Like
exactly.
So when we eventually talk about USF, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more. How the recruitment pool of athletes in certain areas of the country are deeper in terms like gold mines compared to certain other locations like New Orleans, Louisiana area. That is a gold mine compared to what Indiana would draw.
Exactly.
Because you've seen guys like Devin White, Fournette, OBJ, Jarvis all come out. Jamar Chase even come out of LSU from Louisiana.
Tyrann Mathieu
even. But I'm talking like the top, Tyrann was elite, but I'm saying like the guys who come out first round, second round kind of guys.
Yeah.
Where they come out and they make that crazy.
Well, Tyrann would have been a first round pick too if he hadn't gotten in trouble.
No. What I mean is like, when they're at LSU, but they were recruited as blue chip prospects. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like the 5-star, heavily recruited type players. Like they weren't Brian wasn't gonna get that in Indiana with South Bend, even though it's the draw of Notre Dame and all that fanciness. It's a different type of athlete that you would get in an SEC school from a gold mine state like that.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's like Notre Dame's not cool anymore. I'm sorry.
Even if they beat Clemson, they're still not that cool.
Exactly. Like
Rudy's worn off. The lure of Rudy.
Like I said, when they lost to Alabama the second time in the playoff, not the first time in the national championship, but the second time in the playoff.
The Jalen one or the 201? Wait, didn't both Jalen and Tua beat them, right?
No, it was they played in 2012. That was the AJ McCarron year. And then they played again. I want to say, what was it?
2017 they played. It was 2017 they played, but who was the quarterback? I wonder if it was Jalen.
No,
it was Jalen.
It was Tua or something.
Tua took over in 18. I want to say.
No, it was 2020. No, it was 2020.
I'm gonna look it up. While you talk, I'm gonna look that up.
It was 2020 because it was Mac Jones. And
you mean that's the second time? But there was another time out. Or was it Clemson who played it? That got me second.
It was Clemson, but yeah, I mean, like my thing is, I'm just like, it's not the 80s anymore. Notre Dame's not cool. Nobody wants to go there. Well, I mean, people want to go there. It's a good education, but it's not popping like it used to be. Like, no, I'm sorry, but I mean, yeah, it was a good move. He needed to get out of that type of element, I think, and then when he did, it speaks for itself. LSU is going to continue to get better. They're going to continue to get a lot better. Now, at the same time, too, LSU better bring it next year because Alabama going to still be there.
Walker Howard going to be there next year.
Who?
I thought Walker Howard. He's our 5-star who came in this year. He'll be playing next year. If I'm a 5-star, Notre Dame is my top tier, bottom tier.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Why would I want to go there? I'm so like, what? Why? It's cold. It's like, it's completely old school. Like, it's probably a good education, but I mean, like, what? No, like, ew. I can go somewhere down here. I can go anywhere down here that I want to.
It was Clemson who played him in 2017. My bad. Yeah, 2013 and 21.
Yeah.
2021 New Year's Day, so 2020.
Now here's the one about the number 4 team in the country.
No, TCU can't lose. They're in the same boat as Clemson.
Yeah, I agree. And
Shut up,
then
Flash.
the Big 12 frowns heavily upon. I mean, or they're frowned heavily upon. They're like the playoff committee doesn't really respect them because of the quality of play. So let's say if TCU loses this weekend to Texas, it's over.
Tennessee's going to get that spot.
And exactly, it opens the door back up for Tennessee. So there still is
unless LSU beats Georgia in the championship game. Then it'll be LSU at number 4 probably.
Oh, it's going to get
or Michigan.
It's going to get real interesting if LSU beats Georgia.
Look, I don't know if they can. I don't think they can. But if LSU beats Georgia in the SEC championship game, the college football playoff bracket is going to be wide open, especially if Ohio State steamrolls Michigan.
Now, I will say that too.
Or Michigan steamrolls Ohio State.
I don't think they're going to steamroll them this year. They may beat them, but they're not going to steamroll them. Because, for one, the game is in Columbus. That's not easy.
I find the Ohio State run defense to be extremely suspect.
Now, that's true, too. That's true. But I know what. Look, them dudes ain't forget that game. They did not forget it. They got beat like that.
I mean,
house. Oh, they motivated.
Hey, let me talk about this one blasphemous thing before we move on. I got Georgia beating the brakes off LSU. Yeah, I expect that. That is what we expect. But we didn't expect LSU to Alabama come into LSU, but LSU to come out on top.
I didn't. Yep.
Especially with Bryce Young being healthy in that game.
That's true too.
So that's just that. But what was I on? Ohio State, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one thing I saw. They have Will Levis now ranked above CJ Stroud in the draft. Now, if I'm CJ Stroud, I see that. I take that. You know the Michael Jordan from the Last Dance. He said, and I
"Oh yeah, I saw that, and I saw that as disrespect."
If I'm CJ Stroud, I got.
Speaking of Ohio State, I wouldn't take CJ.
That's a miss there, but
he's got a point because Ohio State quarterbacks don't work out well in the NFL.
Well, they have a ranking of the top quarterbacks under 25. Number 1, Joey B. Albeit he didn't play in Ohio State system coming out.
He had
Number 5 is a dude who did 11th overall and just broke Michael Vick's records.
Justin Fields. I got to see more. I need to see him outside of Chicago.
I need to see him outside of Chicago before I could
So I mean,
yeah, actually, you call that one, but we knew that Alabama's not on the same tier as they were before. We just expected them to handle their business against LSU.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I did. I really did. Now, that's not saying Alabama may win out. Now, Alabama can't afford to lose this weekend to Ole Miss. If Ole Miss wins, Ole Miss is still alive in that SEC West.
Okay, the game against Northwestern, he was rough. And the one against Penn State, he wasn't elite. But he's still got... you can't teach that arm where he just flings it like effortlessly. That's not something you see every day from a guy. Well, I don't see what Will Levis is all about to say he's better than Stroud. Like, this class is significantly overhyped, but I don't see it where Will Levis is that good. Albeit people are talking about Bo Nix somehow sneaking into the top 2 rounds of the NFL draft, and I'm like, are you shitting me right now?
He could sneak in now, to be honest.
He's going to sneak in, but he ain't that, bud.
Now, again, a lot of this can change too, because when you go to the combine, anything can happen. Like our friend of the show, Freddie Stevenson, told us, they poke and prod you and they look to find anything wrong with you. So, I mean, anything can happen to where he could go out there and have a bad day at the combine.
Hey, I'm going to say it. I was high on Hurts coming out, and I haven't been proven wrong yet. I'm high on Jalen Hurts. Justin Fields, I haven't been proven wrong yet. I won't hope CJ Stroud doesn't prove me wrong. into that regard because I would be extremely
And
upset.
honestly, part of it depends where CJ Stroud goes to. I'm not gonna hold my breath on
That is true. True. That is very true. If CJ Stroud ends up in a Carolina,
My thing my thing is, see, I don't know why people keep linking CJ Stroud to Carolina. I'm like, they still have
Matt
Matt
Corral.
Corral. Like, I'm not even hating on Ohio State, but I've seen him fall too many times.
Yeah, I didn't like what he did against Oregon last year. That was my biggest worry game.
Mm-hmm.
He had a couple of missed throws in that game, but let's see how he performs this year against Michigan before the final judgment's given.
Fair enough.
If he wets the bed, I'll jump on your bandwagon, which is drunk.
I think Michigan can go in there and upset him. Quite honestly, wouldn't surprise
Ohio
me.
State needs to go put the foot down. What week is that? Next week they play or the week after?
That's the week after. That's Thanksgiving weekend at high
2 weeks
noon.
from now.
Oh, now we can switch on over to hot topic.
The USF topic.
Yeah, so this whole USF coaching carousel thing, because USF Twitter swears they're correct about everything that they say. They told us they're going to be relevant by 2030. I don't even see that happening, honestly.
That's actually funny.
They think that they're going to get Deion too. Someone said, they should go after Deion Sanders. Yeah, that's not happening. I'm sorry. I'm
Deion ain't going there.
Exactly. Now, the fact that you have boosters apparently allegedly breaking the bank for John Gruden, that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah. All right. Let's go with that drunk. Well, we'll see what goes with Michigan, and then we'll make our judgments on CJ Stroud. Now, why is Tennessee coming up? We don't care about Tennessee. What is this one about USF?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, this whole thing with John Gruden has me so annoyed. Like I'm seriously considering if they hire that man, I'm out. JPeeps is having a choking session. You have to carry. All right, yeah. So I go to USF, right? If they really hire John Gruden, I am hitting that transfer portal, bro. I ain't dealing with John, man. There's a reason why he was moved from the Bucks Hall Ring of Honor, and the Bulls play in Raymond James Stadium, where the Bucks play. That will be so bad. Like, if you look from a talent, like, coaching aspect without all the off-field stuff, I mean, I guess it would work. Yeah, if he ain't leaving for anything other than a Power 5, top 20, like, gold mine state. Like how I was talking about earlier, it's like a Louisiana, Alabama school, Georgia school, Florida school, not named USF. The West Coast, Texas. Those are the gold mine states, not like but you have to be Power 5 too. I didn't even know JP was still dying. But anyways, yeah. There's a reason what happened with John Gruden, and there's a reason why nobody's hired him. John Gruden is not gonna fix your issues in recruitment. For some reason, John Gruden coaching the USF sounds like much watched TV. I mean, it'd be must-watch TV for the drama and the controversy around it, but I don't think kids are going to come and willingly want to play for him like, oh my God, it's John Gruden nowadays. Like, the era of football John Gruden was running at Oakland, Vegas, whatever you want to call the Raiders when he was coaching. He's back. He survived.
Yeah,
Glad to see you back in the living, my friend.
I had an Atlanta Falcons moment.
Yeah, I'm choking.
Exactly. Or should I say I had a Coach Maynard, Alabama A&M moment. But yeah, wow, that's actually interesting. For some reason, John Gruden coaching USF sounds like much must-watch TV. It would be. I mean, look, he's in good with a lot of the boosters and stuff too. They're ready to cut the check, apparently, from what Zach Blobner at 620 WDAE said. Now, again, I don't know why USF Twitter.
They better not.
I don't know why USF Twitter is so against that. That's what the radio station in Tampa said.
The student should protest the hiring.
So I feel like some of those international students don't even know who John Gruden is.
No, the international students won't care, but the kids who know about it will care. Albeit half of them don't ever, go
Go to
to
games.
to watch the games. I think Mont included.
I feel like USF football's been protested since like Jim Leavitt left. Honestly, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, look, they're already doing a good job of protesting. So I'd say, hey, keep it up.
Bro, the last USF game I went to was when Teddy Bridgewater was the quarterback of Louisville.
The last
And he
USF
played
game,
USF.
last USF game I went to was the McKenzie Milton game.
Oof.
Yeah, that was sad. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very sad. I didn't think he was ever gonna play football again.
Hey, man, coaching what at UCF now or FSU? I think he's at UCF now coaching.
McKenzie Milton, I'm not sure. I thought
he's coaching in one of those schools. I gotta look it up, but
interesting. But I've also seen a couple other names linked to USF.
No, there was a time USF was like the TCU of the early, not 2010s. It would have been late 2000s.
Well, he's saying like how TCU was in the early 2010s. TCU was there. But like, yeah, USF was that squad throughout the 2000s, especially the late 2000s, because of Jim Leavitt. Jim Leavitt had upset wins over Auburn. I was at the game where Jim Leavitt took USF into Tallahassee and beat Florida State. USF.
Oh, he's on the UCF broadcast team now.
Oh, interesting. But yeah, like USF is their program where they've gone out and they've done it before. They have wins over Miami. They've pulled some pretty significant upsets.
They've been the number 2 team in the country.
Yeah, like Jim Leavitt had that program rolling, and then when he left, that program was not the same. He was their first coach in the history of that program. So I mean,
it's like how Flash said on Last Give how many moons ago it was.
Yep. Now
USF needs to clean it from the top.
Now here's the thing I heard. USF's AD did say they're not going to consider the fact of head coaching experience in this search. Which actually,
they're going to pull an Indianapolis Colts, aren't they?
You are not the first person to say that either.
No, my most concerning thing is they want to hire a head coach before December.
They're rushing it.
That is extremely concerning.
They are, in fact, yeah. See, here we go. Wait, no, that's not the one. It's a little bit further up. Here we go. AD Michael Kelly wants to have a coach in place before December 5th. Could be earlier than that. And then here we go, right here. Matt Barker also said, too, from the Tampa Bay Times, FAMU coach Willie Simmons was asked about the USF job. I have an agent for all that type of stuff and haven't heard any rumblings regarding any contact from USF. Whenever the opportunity presents itself, we'll address it then. So don't read into that. The search is just beginning for one. Someone said, I hope it's not true. Yeah, yo, I believe. Look, we hear things all the time. So
give me a second. I got a one for hiring of John Gruden.
Oh.
One moment, please. I'll be back.
Did you have a comment for it or what?
No. Give me a second. It's coming. Don't worry. It's coming. The face is coming.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm still trying to find the one about what AD Michael Kelly said about the search.
Don't worry. You knew it was coming.
You're a trip.
USF can't afford to pull a Colts unless it's like an Ed Reed or something.
Look, dude, he deleted it. That's what he did. Interesting. He deleted it. Yeah. Yep, he deleted it. Wow.
Who?
Matt Baker from the Tampa Bay Times. He deleted what he said about how USF is gonna like not consider the fact of setting their standards to only guys that have head coaching experience. USF can't afford to pull a Colts unless it's like an Ed Reed or something. That's interesting. Ed Reed he's been down there in Miami gathering knowledge.
I wouldn't mind Ed Reed as a coach. I take him.
It would be interesting. Now, the thing I don't get is when people bring up Ray Lewis as a coach. Ray Lewis has no coaching experience at all. If you bring Ray Lewis into
Nah, Ray Lewis, no.
exactly, Ray Lewis is going to be just as good as Eddie George at Tennessee State, who might finish the year with only 3 wins. I'm sorry, Ray Lewis is a good motivator. I don't think he'd be a good football coach.
Now, Ed Reed, I could see Ed Reed a little bit better.
Yeah, because Ed Reed has that coach's swagger. He's actually been in the locker room trying to connect with players before, trying to help rebuild and mentor those kids at the University of Miami. Now, can he do it at USF? That remains to be seen. I think he could, but I think USF does need to exhaust all their options. The fact that they're saying December 5th around that time, that's not good. This is also true too. The parking at the Florida Classic is in fact sold out. So if you have not bought a parking pass yet, you should park at the Amway Center's parking garage or find somebody's yard.
Or an Uber, like park somewhere and then Uber in.
Yeah,
That's not exactly cost effective though.
Now, honestly, too, the other thing is with the Florida Classic is the Bethune-Cookman side is not sold out yet. The FAMU side is sold out.
Now, the Bethune-Cookman is like, it's a nice set of blue shades.
Dude, it's
like every different shade of blue. Wide open.
I don't even think their fans are coming. I really think that
I think they know the outcome of the game before it happens.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that it's literally going to be the football team and the marching Wildcats that show up. That's it. Because I think this thing is going to be painted orange and green. That's it. That's all I think it's going to be. Geez, man, the comment section is blowing up. I like it.
This is what we like, though. We love the comment section going. If you're watching on Twitter, click the Penalty Talk profile picture. Head over to the bio. Click that link in the bio, and we'll have the episode of Run and Gun, whatever episode we're on right now, that says live, and hop in on join the comment section, like Drunken Ashes. Yeah, we got this conversation.
Let me ask you this, Ace. Who do you think should be the next head coach of USF?
Oh God,
because Tom Herman's name has been mentioned too.
No, I'm tired of Texas coaches. No, I don't want Texas leftovers.
Willie Simmons was in Texas too. He was at Prairie View.
Yeah, but that's not like University of Texas leftover.
Oh, true. Fair enough. The
last University of Texas leftover was garbage. Wasn't very strong. He was pretty weak. Charlie Puny. Charlie No Games.
Wow, I have not heard that before. I feel like it's going to be another assistant from somewhere. Not sure where, though.
As long as it's not Bill O'Brien, I think we're good.
What if it's Dion?
Dion ain't coming. I wouldn't mind Willie Simmons, though, but I doubt he comes. Especially with all this talk of John Gruden. Like, come on now.
If by some miracle...
hitting that transfer portal so fast.
If by some miracle it ends up being John Gruden. Oh, my...
I'm out.
I'll tell you what, though. He's going to get everything that he needs from those boosters. He's going to get everything he needs. Yeah, no, you do. You do. And I think if they do hire John Gruden, I think you're going to see the return of Jim Leavitt.
See, now, what I would say is, if JPP had retired, I would have said try to give JPP a shot, but he hasn't retired yet.
Coaching?
Yeah, why not? Let's see what JPP got.
USF has that underdog. You can never pick me. You can never pick against me legacy. Yeah, they do. They do.
They do, but they ain't been shown in the last how many years now? 5?
I think the success of UCF has kind of forced them to realize that they need to wake back up.
Especially what just got put into the AAC. Is ugly.
Exactly.
They got to deal with the schedule. Flash put it into the chat, pulling it up. So this upcoming year, they opened the season against Bama, but then they got Rice, FAU, Charlotte, Temple, University of Texas San Antonio, Memphis, UAB, and Navy. And then 24 is SMU, UTSA, ECU, Navy, North Texas, Rice, FAU, and Charlotte.
My thing is, this is
Tulsa, North Texas, Memphis, FAU, SMU, Tulane, ECU, Temple, and then same teams again, just in a different order.
my thing is, this is really where we're at with the AAC now.
The AAC has fallen, especially with Cincinnati and UCF heading over to the Big 12.
That's ugly.
But see, if these team realignments keep happening,
Mhm.
USF can rebuild the program by 25. That opens the door maybe for them to hop in with UCF in the Big 12, but they have to build it back up to that level in 4 years, or 3 years, which is impossible because they don't take it serious enough, and they would hire someone stupid as John Gruden.
It's gonna be
against John Gruden as I do against Dennis Allen.
It's gonna be an interesting next couple weeks. I'll tell you that much. I will tell you that much. Let's go ahead and hop into this fantasy football though.
Yeah.
So actually, wait, hold on one sec.
Uh-oh. What you got?
Oh no, it's nothing breaking. It's just 1 sec.
You got my hopes up for nothing. By the way, if you're in fantasy, you don't have to worry about Alvin Kamara for the rest of the year. He's gonna play the rest of the year. Just letting you all know that because his trial date got moved to March, so you don't have to worry about that for the entire season. Rest of the season. Urban Meyer to USF. Who says no? Okay, I'd say this. I could take Urban Meyer over. I could take.
What actually was mentioned?
I would take Urban Meyer over John Gruden because at least Urban Meyer was a decent college head coach.
Yeah, you might find him at one of the USF parties too.
It ain't like he got much selection. Sorry.
You need to stop. You need to stop. That ain't nothing but the devil.
It's not compared to Florida. USF's not compared to Florida in that regards. Or outside Columbus in bars. But what else I got? Josh Allen, he's day to day. I don't know if he plays or not, but it looks like he's gonna. He seemed like he was gonna get through it.
All right, here we go.
So I wouldn't be worried about him either. I must say, today I dropped Cam Akers. No regrets. He said, "Adios, amigos. You gone, man. I ain't dealing with you no more." We're giving Jalen Warren a shot because Najee Harris is most likely getting benched for the rest of the year. Well, he's gonna get phased out for the year for Jalen Warren.
Here we are.
Who comes for Austin Eckler? So that's your guy to pick up.
Here's all the guys that they are saying to start. Y'all ain't affected by the storm. Well, I mean, honestly, it's right over me.
Tonight, right? It's gonna hit tonight for us, like 1 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah, 1 a.m. tonight. It's not really doing much damage though right now. I made sure to park my vehicle away from any trees or anything that could fall, so I'm good for the night. But yeah. So as far
all I did was just take down the hoop and bring the car right in front of the garage, so we're good.
Yeah. So as far as quarterbacks goes for this week, fantasy stardom.
Justin Fields should be number 1.
Justin Fields.
Cam Akers is the bummest player to ever request a trade. That is so facts, man.
That's true.
I am so desperate for RB2 help right now. I didn't know who the hell to go with, so I just said, you know what? This week I got to start AJ Dillon because we're desperate. But I picked up Kyren Williams and I threw him on IR. That is the final dart throw because Leonard Fournette looks like he's not getting benched anytime soon. Clyde Edwards-Helaire just got stuck into a 3-man attack where Isaiah Pacheco might be the worst running back I've ever seen play football as a starter. But that is I'm assuming it says Kyrie.
It's a Kyrie
yeah,
thing.
he messed up. He was stupid, but he's gonna probably get cleared of his suspension by the end of the week. So
yeah.
That is the reason why they didn't hire Ime Udoka though when they hired Jack Vaughn as their head coach, because they couldn't suffer another bad publicity situation. Yeah. Where I think if Kyrie didn't have his whole situation, I think they'd hire Udoka and not care. Like they would be able to withstand that bad publicity, but with the negative light from Kyrie's situation, I think they had to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the stardom sit-up, my bad.
So for fantasy, we got Justin Fields, of course, Tua, Marcus Mariota Thursday night. Start him if you have him, and Geno Smith.
Geno, I can agree. Marcus Mariota. I've never been a fan of starting quarterbacks on Thursday night.
Really?
I don't know. Well, my situation, I wouldn't start a quarterback on Thursday night because I have Josh Allen and I wouldn't know if he's playing or not until probably Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Or worst case, I'll just pick up Trevor Lawrence and roll with him.
Fair
because
enough.
I couldn't get Justin Fields on waivers.
Now they said too, as far as sitting, sit Tom Brady against the Seahawks defense. Sit Kirk
Tom Brady.
Sit Kirk Cousins. Sit Aaron Rodgers and sit Matthew.
Cut Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think honestly, Aaron Rodgers needs to be let go in a lot of fantasy leagues. I don't see that train getting going anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
As far
Alan Lazard, though, that you can start.
As far as running backs goes, Jonathan Taylor, Dante Foreman, Jamal Williams, and David Montgomery. Start all of them.
Now that's if Jonathan Taylor plays.
They say here he's active.
Well, he's at practice, but they don't know if he's playing. So
you should
just keep an eye.
Taylor, especially in favorable matchups like this one.
Well, we shall see. Keep it going.
The Raiders struggle against the run, but they have allowed the most receiving yards.
Two running backs. Well, yeah, because Kamara had 96 on him.
Yeah. Yeah, also too, Dante Foreman against
and killed them last week.
Now, as far as sitting, they say sit Najee Harris against the Saints, sit Clyde Edwards-Helaire against the Jags. I don't even know if you should really even play Devin Singletary against the Vikings. And then sit Brian Robinson against the Eagles.
Brian Robinson got screwed over this week. Not this week, today, where they're going to have a big report come out on Washington. I don't think it's going to be very good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably why Snyder's prepping to sell the team. But they try to deflect it with the Brian Robinson shooting. And that was a bad move by them. Like, what did Brian Robinson deserve to get put into that whole situation? But Brian Robinson hasn't been good since he's been playing. Like, everyone's making this joke of, like, Michael Thomas broke a toe. He's going to be out the whole year. And Brian Robinson got shot, and he's back in 4 weeks. Brian Robinson's been bad. Like, not like Cam Akers bad at running the football, but, like, bad under 3 yards of carry.
Right.
So,
yeah,
Antonio Gibson's, like, the way better back in that backfield.
He is. And he has been for a while.
And he is not fumbling the football. He has 0 fumbles this year.
There you go. Now, as far as wide receiver goes, start A.J. Brown, of course. Christian Kirk, start him against the Chiefs. Ooh. Chris Olave, start him against the Steelers. Start Jerry Jeudy against the Titans. Sit Michael Pittman against the Raiders. Sit Adam Thielen against the Bills secondary. Sit Drake London. And sit
Drake London, you can drop.
I don't even know why this is even up here, but sit Wan'Dale Robinson against the Texans.
Man, you can't roster any Falcon receiver, and you can't roster any Giant receivers. Or, well, Bears, you can have Mooney, but that's about it. You can't roster those guys.
There's also Chase Claypool now, too.
You can't roster Claypool yet.
Let
me hit them sit-ums for the wide receivers.
Oh, yeah. So, Michael Pittman, sit him.
Oh, yeah, you said that.
Yeah, I already said these.
That's my bad. I forgot.
You're good, man.
Tight ends, what we got?
As far as tight ends goes, we got Kyle Pitts. Start him against the Panthers. Start Tyler.
Mariota did say he wants to give him the ball more.
They need to feed him more. Honestly, they'd probably win more games. Tyler Higbee against the Cardinals. Start him. Cole Kmet against the Lions. Cade Otton. Ooh. He's been playing inspired football. Start him against the Seahawks. Dawson Knox. Sit him against the Vikings. Sit Mike Gesicki against the Browns. Jawan Johnson. Sit him against the Steelers. And also sit Robert Tonyan against the Dallas Cowboys. I think honestly, I think anybody from Green Bay that's a receiver, you need to just go ahead and just like don't even attempt.
Well, Lazard's been good actually. The games Lazard's played, he's been over double digits. So he's like a solid low floor guy. You know what you're gonna get from him.
He's
not gonna bust for you.
He's the most reliable. And Aaron Rodgers' his eyes, at least.
He's the only man standing right now. Romeo Dobbs out 4 to 6 weeks. What's his name? The guy from Christian Watson, second concussion in 3 weeks. Yeah, Sammy Watkins is washed beyond years. Like he needs to retire. So is Julio Jones, but that's a different conversation for another day. That's all the receivers. I don't even know anybody else. Some dude named Torrey, never heard of him until last week. But with that, that is going to do it for us tonight on the Running Gun podcast.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This was awesome.
Not 2 hours, but solid 80 minutes of well-rounded conversations. We had a great group from the chat tonight with Drunk and Ashton. Thanks both of y'all. Happy birthday, Ashton, again.
Yes, happy birthday, Ashton. Thank you, Drunk, for joining us. Drunk got this thing going.
Drunk comes in every now and then. He brings the heat, bro. That man
I need to ask Drunk, what is drunk off of? Is he drunk off that Hennessy, that tequila? What is drunk off of?
Drunk is drunk off of the Larry O'Brien trophy right there. Not Larry O'Brien trophy. That's the Larry O'Brien trophy. My brain's fried.
Oh. So
what am I doing here?
When he come back like next Tuesday or something like that, we need to ask him or Wednesday night, we need to ask him what is he drunk off of?
That's a good question.
I feel like he gonna say that Henny.
He'll be perfect for the late night honey talk with Hendrix.
Yeah, if Hendrix ever decides to do that, we can never get Hendrix to do that. We need to get him to do that.
That's a teaser for if it happened. That's like an if teaser, guys.
Yes, that is. That's a strong if teaser. But yeah, folks, we've enjoyed this very, very much. We love the interaction this evening. If you have not already, make sure make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Be your friend, tell a friend.
Exactly.
If you got the link and you enjoyed it, drop a like, but then copy that link and send it to your friends, man. That's how you got to be your friend and tell a friend. Send them the link, let them watch, see what it's about. We hit everything.
As well, too,
details.
We got the FAMU versus Alabama State breakdown this weekend. FAMU's still pushing for that playoff spot, possibly trying to bid for a home game in the FCS playoffs. So, yeah, it's going to be a good one. We're winding down the season, man. I feel like just yesterday we were talking about FAMU and UNC. It's crazy.
It's crazy, and it's also we only have 2 episodes left in the season, man.
We do. Well, hell, next week is the last episode of the Running Gun podcast for this season.
I thought it was 2. No, wait. Yesterday was 2 episodes.
Yeah. Tonight,
wow.
The last one.
Only one more Wednesday showing for the year of 2022.
Yeah, and so you got to go all out, man. We might have to do a Christmas type of thing where we give our favorite Christmas movies, since he wouldn't give his favorite Halloween movies because he doesn't do Halloween. So that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, folks, as always, stay safe, stay blessed. We will see you Saturday.